Alright, what is up guys? It's No Good Suna. Uh, let's just hop right into this. But we're gonna be going over the rules, what's allowed, what's banned, and I'm gonna try to do it as much in depth but as quickly as I can. So sorry if this sounds disorganized. But to start things off, I am not allowing CACs, and I'll be having reasonings for why or choice in bans that I'm gonna be making here. And the first one is obviously no CACs because they can be very broken, and the moves they can have uh, can be very oppressive. But instead of banning like Dark End as a move, like allow CACs and stuff, and like just ban Dark End, then why would I nerf a character like Blackbeard, which garbage cheese isn't allowed in this tournament? So don't worry about getting guard broken through a Dark End ball anyway. Um, but why would I ban like Dark End and limit Blackbeard as a character? People that might play him in the tournament, when I can just ban CACs. Like why allow someone that can like even if they don't use garbage cheese, do something stupid like what is it, flame pillar and the piccolo support, and then start throwing the black balls at you. Like no, like I just ban CACs, and I don't care that another argument could be like, oh, what if I just use Goku's fighting style, put on Kamehameha, meteor combination, raging strike, and super spirit bomb, and then use it on my CAC? Then it's basically the same thing. No, no, we're not allowing CACs. I don't care if your avatar looks like Savior Zombie. I don't care if you modeled your avatar after I don't know, Ronald McDonald, whatever the fuck. Like, you want to use a female Goku? No, we're not allowing CACs. That's it. That's it. We're not allowing CACs. So CACs, that's one thing not allowed. And then let me pick a team so I can show you guys other things that are also not allowed. All right. So to start things off, I will be explaining some of the basic rules. But before that, uh, I will be explaining the round system because it's something we tend to struggle with during some of these tournaments. So all matches will be first to best 2 out of 3, which means you have to win 2 matches to beat your opponent and advance into the next round to your next opponent. But the rounds will be set to 3 rounds, meaning you only have to win 2 times in a match to win that match, but you have to win 2 matches, right? And at the semifinals and finals is when we'll be bumping it up to best best 3 out of 5, which is you would have to, it's still 2 rounds per match, but you would have to win 3 matches to advance. And I hope I made that clear because we tend to struggle with this. And the timers, the time of the tournament and date is set on the challenge thing, but um, the date and time should be, I want to say 7 o'clock. Yeah, 7 o'clock Eastern time. So in dead ass time in New York time, it's 7 o'clock. That's when the tournament will start. Hopefully everything can get resolved. If for some reason I can't, maybe I'm running late, I will let everybody know just in case, because I do work on Saturdays, but I should have enough time if it's set to 7. It is on a Saturday, like I said, so I should have enough time. Everything should be okay. But all right, now for the basic rules of this tournament. Like I said, CACs not allowed. Guard break cheese also not allowed this tournament. And if you don't know what guard break cheese is, it's when your opponent should be blocking and shouldn't get their guard broken. Because the normal game interaction is when your opponent blocks your support, you're not supposed to be able to guard break them. However, there are some like that's a normal interaction, but there's some exceptions. Some characters have stuff in their combos to where they can guard break you and you can't move. Like Togoro's one hit in the charge down light is inescapable, and you can't do anything about it. Like you can't let go of a block, you can't try to interrupt it. Like if you get hit by one light and he goes into down tilt, it is a confirmed guard break. That is guard break cheese. If your opponent cannot move because you hold them down with a super, which is the most common type of guard break cheese, that is guard break cheese. Your opponent is supposed to be able to move because that's the game's normal interaction. Another example of guard break cheese is this, like just a support holding you down while you block. That is garbage cheese. That is not allowed this tournament. Uh, so yeah, any form of garbage cheese, whether it be like you doing lights and then in the middle of your combo you switch, right? That is garbage cheese because the opponent came in, the character Toguro came in, and then he stunned Cell's guard, so he couldn't even backstep if he wanted to while Goku was charging the down tilt. Essentially, you blocked him from moving, so you could guard break them. And I'm trying to explain these as fast as possible, and I'm trying to also pace it. I'm sorry. Oh, before I forget, there are some characters like Kakashi, Hisoka, Toshiro, Jotaro that allow you to guard break through supports, and we are not allowing those kind of guard breaks either. So if your opponent uses Kakashi's shurikens as support and he runs up and holds square, and the Kakashi shurikens are stopping you from moving, that is garbage cheese. That is not allowed, and you will most likely be disqualified if that happens. So just keep that in mind. Toshiro is the same thing. There are other type of interactions like Toguro support actually allows you to guard break in certain instances through the support, and Jotaro, Sasuke also allow certain characters to guard break you through them. Those are garbage cheese. Any form of garbage cheese is not tolerated. Just know that. And if I will be reviewing some of these, if we do get a case of it, just know that you will be disqualified. And if it's accidental garbage cheese by some reason, like if you do get garbage cheese in a match, just keep the match going. And then maybe you'll still win, and then he cheated and still lost. You can call him out, be like, hey, you still lost and you cheated, whatever. But if you lose and the opponent like, hey, he garbage cheese me, we'll review the footage, and if we deem it to be garbage cheese, we will if it's accidental garbage cheese, not intentional, we will we'll probably more likely look at it, and then we'll decide whether we want to run him back or just straight up disqualify. We will decide on that. So just keep that in mind. We would try to avoid these if possible. So be careful with your garbage cheese and stuff. Guys. Just be careful. Be wary of that. Something else that will not be allowed is actually R3 or team attacks. When you're getting hit and you're in a combo, you have no stamina, you can use the R3 to escape, which is a little, when it's right around like Toguro right there and Cell. You're allowed to escape. You're allowed to use that R3. But the one you're not allowed to use is the team attack version of R3, where you hold your opponent in place and you can do cheesy shit like that. And it gives you infinite support, so you can always just essentially keep switching as much as you wanted during the whole thing. The R3 team attack version, even if your team doesn't come out to help you, is banned. And it's because, like I said, it allows too many exploits for you to use, and the people that know how to use it and do use it will have an extreme advantage over those people that don't. And like I said, it does give you infinite support, so it allows for cheesy stuff to where your opponent might die in just one R3 off a half a meter of R3, which I don't think is very fair, so we will not be allowing it for this tournament. So we may allow it later on with restrictions, because there is a mechanic I will be explaining a little bit later that is actually allowed but restricted. So just keep that in mind, that R3 in this tournament is entirely banned. I don't care if you use it after your LOL, injection shot. It's banned. You're not using R3, period, in this tournament. I don't care if you want to use it just to, for some reason, oh, let me just square, and then do this. This is still counts as a team attack because you get infinite support and everything, infinite switches. I am not allowing it in this tournament, period. So, if you use it, you are most likely to be disqualified, even if it's accidental. Then we can review it with your opponent if they want to maybe, take the round from you or something, or maybe I'll do it if they don't find the guts to do it. And I don't like R3 people, so if I see you R3, and you most likely gonna get disqualified, chief. So I don't want to see any R3s because it allows too many broken mechanics. So that R3 team attack is banned. Escape team attack, when your meter is fully filled, that however is allowed. You can escape with R3, but you cannot use R3 to do the team attack exploit. So yeah, here's another little controversial one. The whole square mechanic, to where if you perfect smash, that's what we call that, is a perfect smash. When you do that, when you hold square, normally you could just break someone's guard or smack them, to where you do the square juggle thing in the air to where your opponent vanishes and use stamina. But there's another version of it, like I said, the perfect smash. Charge it to the right time, you can do that. Normally there isn't a problem with it, right? I'm not banning the hold square. I'm not banning that. What I am banning is the exploit to where your opponent cannot do anything. So if you're holding them with certain supports, your opponent is stunned to the point where they can't move, they can't do anything. They're forced to take the hold square. I don't think that's a very skillful mechanic. So just any form of hold square while your opponent is being held back by a support, it is not allowed. For the simple fact that it allows your opponents, like I've played people that use Kane and hold you back with like Sasuke or like some kind of support, and then they hold square because you can't move, and then they'll ult you right after, and it'll connect. And if you have just finished escaping from your opponent's, like, I don't know, they say you escape from your opponent, right? And now you're blocking. That's the only thing you really can do in a situation like that. And they decide to do the hold square, which I can't seem to do right now. And they go right into ult. There is nothing you can do about it. You're forced to take the ult. And if your opponent's awakened while trying to chase you down for an ult, you're gonna take an awakened damage ult. And I don't think that's very fair that you have to, like, first of all, blocking is already a guessing game, because your opponent could maybe charge all the way down, or maybe they'll mess with you and they'll mix you up by charging it halfway, and then instead, you end up in their face, and then they just start comboing you. So, or they can go for a grab, and like, there's already so many mixes to open up your opponent. Like, you don't have to fucking hold square and then while your opponent is blocking to do something like that. I understand it takes kind of timing, but that's what people try to use this, to say that that's the reason for it not being cheese. But the things that come after it is what I really consider cheese, and the fact that you can't. You get knocked out of block. Your only real defense option when you have no stamina, because if you run out of stamina, you can't do anything. You can't dash. All you can do is sidestep and block, which is your main way of like avoiding damage at that time, to avoid getting hit or punished. And that the only way, like for you not to get punished is to block, and then you take someone's support just to get hit by some stupid shit like this. I couldn't ult there, but you get the point. So that's why hold the perfect smash while a support is on their guard is banned. If you want to hold square and then the moment you connect it you want to use your support, go for it. That's allowed. But holding square while after the support stun or while the support is stunning them, not allowed. Just so we're clear on that. The final and last official, I'm also limiting another mechanic in the game, which is area change. And I'm not limiting the amount of area changes you can do. And I'll explain something to help you against it, because some people do agree that area changes can be very oppressive, and I agree. They can be, which is why I use them. I'm not going to lie. But I think your opponent would be more inclined to take an area change, because sometimes you don't want to take an area change because there's a lot of bullshit that comes after it. Like I said, some of that bullshit is banned, and it might limit the cell players, so I'm happy for it. So they implement this rule. So when you area change someone, you cannot use a move or just anything in general that lets you land first. Bisky has a whole triangle that she can use, but you cannot use a super or a move that lets you land before your opponent, so you can punish them and do stuff like this. Because I deem it kind of unfair. Not every character can do it, for one. So to me, that's not really much of a problem, but to me, that's more like an advantage for other characters. And imagine your opponent had no health, like little to no health, like enough health to live a combo, or a fireball, but not enough health to live like a super awakened, like an awakened ultimate, So my reason for banning it is that because it's kind of unfair and that it allows for a lot of bullshit afterwards. And most people, when you're about to like let's say you guard broke someone, right? Or no, you caught someone in a combo and they see you going for the whole triangle part, they're most likely escape most of the time, right? But I think players would be more inclined to take because Savior sometimes takes it, and I take them sometimes, the stage transitions. Sometimes it's better to take the stage transition. If I think more people would be more inclined to take it if you knew your opponent isn't able to do like some fireball bullshit, and then them with awakening still awaken at the bottom, and then ult you and shit. I think people would be more inclined to take those if it were if you knew that you weren't gonna get punished by like an R3 in the air after the stage transition, or you wouldn't get punished by like someone landing early. And it'll limit probably the amount of characters that, because those not every character can do it, but the characters that can do it are pretty good already for one, and it kind of just gives them an unfair advantage to other characters. And normally I don't really have too much of a problem with it, like when I'm fighting online matches. Uh, I don't really I do it sometimes too, but I don't really care for it all that much. But I do for this tournament I will not be allowing it, even though I don't have a problem with it, because some people do have a problem with it, and I can agree it's kind of unfair. It will not be allowed in this tournament. So yeah, so in this tournament that the area changing and then using a move or hold triangle for Bisky or anything that allows the opponent to stay in the air longer than you while you fall down is prohibited. The only character that I know that can kind of abuse this is Aizen, because Aizen's Raikoho, when it hits you in the air, if you let it connect, because you can't perfect block while you're up in the air floating like that, about to get hit by something. You can't perfect block it or vanish. Um, Aizen is the only character that the move in the game actually lets it hit you in the air and they land faster than you. I'm allowing Aizen because he's the only character that can really do that, and it still scales the damage from the area change from before. So Aizen is the only character that can really do it and is being allowed to do it, but typically not a lot of characters can do much after like a stage transition. If we're banning like the use of moves that can make you land faster, there's not a lot of characters that can do much about it. So those characters that do have it can excel. And this actually does remind me that they're like I said, garbage cheese is not allowed, so you can't switch off your supports to do something crazy. However, there are certain characters that have abilities that let them hit through a guard per se, but they don't break your guard, and I'm allowing them. So let's say you have Sasuke support, and then you switch to Yugi, you draw, and then you get Swords of Revealing Light, and it lands on them. That doesn't count as garbage cheese. That is allowed. Kaiba's Ring of Destruction that falls from the sky, it'll like signal you that hey, something's about to fall on your head. It's unblockable. That is it's not garbage cheese. It's allowed, even if you switch and hit the opponent. So maybe they'll get hit by it. Like that's allowed. Um, Rio Saiba's gun thing doesn't take your stamina. I don't know where some people got that misconception or whatever the fuck. Like this propaganda is fake news that Rio Saiba takes your stamina when he breaks your guard. It doesn't even do that much damage for one. You can switch off of it and do stuff with it, which is kind of fancy. So, like I said, it's allowed. The only one I don't allow is Kenshin's guard break thing, because you can switch and then do Kenshin's like thing, and Kenshin will still guard break them. And basically, it would be like you just guard break cheesing them for 2 meter, which I think can be balanced to an extent. But at the same time, I'm just for this tournament, I'm not allowing it. But like I said, there's other ways around it. So if you find a way around it and you deem it not cheesy, or I deem it not cheesy, then go ahead and use it. But like I said, those are the rules for this tournament. Yeah. Alright, so to finish this off, and the last and final rules, not really a rule, but there's nothing against it. You can, if you lose a round and you don't like the fact that your opponent picked, I don't know, some certain map, you are allowed to hit no rematch, and then pick another map and then see if you get lucky enough to get your map for one. I don't have any limitations on maps. If I see there's problems with things, like I said, this is just a tournament. I'm not paying a lot. Money's still coming out of my pocket. But I intend to make maybe, $80 tournaments at some point, but I want to make sure that we can get the game in the most balanced state possible before I start paying people to abuse mechanics in the game. Because I want to see skill. Which brings me to another thing that I'll add on to a second, but if you guys can help it, please don't pick the training stage. Like, I get it, if you play like characters like Sasuke or just other characters in general, you have moves that slow down the frames and shit. And training stage is one of those maps where it doesn't slow frames, so you want to pick it. But that map is so damn ugly. I really want to ban the map, but there's really no reason to. But if you can avoid it, and if you can please help it, do not pick the training stage. There's other maps that that have no stage transitions, or have like 1 or 2 stage transitions throughout the whole game. That pick those if you much rather. Pick the tournament. I encourage you to pick the tournament stage if you'd like to. But like I said, some people use area changes as a as a helpful mechanic, because it does take your meter, your awakening meter and stuff. So it's a strategy. You can pick a map that doesn't have it. You can pick a map that does have it to help get rid of your opponent's meter. There's no rule against that. However, there's no rule against anything like relating to map picks. However, maybe in the future there will be, so keep that in mind. If you can help it, don't pick the training stage. There's other maps you can pick. If you want to pick a stage with no stage transition, then pick World Tournament stage. Final Valley is another map I don't like because I honestly think it looks pretty ugly as a map, and I don't really want to see it in a tournament. So if you can avoid picking that one too, I would greatly appreciate it. The winner of this tournament does get $50 coming out of my pocket. There's no sponsors. Bandai don't care about this game like we do, like I do. Uh, so yeah, but there's also a second place prize, but not really a special. It's not really a second place prize. It's more like a special prize that I'm giving to someone, and it's to see who can make up the most skill, style, and creativity with their teams, whether it be a theme team and the synergy between the team. Basically, what I'm trying to tell you is you can make a team, make it all Dragon Ball, make it work somehow. But Dragon Ball is kind of generic. I don't know. Just maybe you could theme it like all Uchihas, all have dead parents, or something like that. You can give me a creative name for it, right? Uh, and if I deem your team to be like really cool and like the way you play the team and like synergy, you could lose first round to someone spamming Cell Barrier, Little Jimmy spamming Ray Gun or whatever, but you still had like the most creative team throughout the whole tournament, and it was very nice and fluent in how you played the team and everything was really good and your switches and everything was perfect. Then you could still lose first round and get $20 just for participating. Because some people participate for fun, and it's a tournament rule that I wanted to add. I know not everyone's gonna win. Can only be one winner, obviously, but I wanted to maybe give a little something to someone who shows the most skill, style, creativity, theme. Like I guess that applies to creativity, and yeah. So if you can do that and still win the tournament, essentially you're getting 70 fucking dollars. Yeah. So good luck to if you can manage to do something like that. But uh, if you can make up a creative team and do well, even if you lose first round, um, you can still get $20 because I know Stealth, my boy Stealth, he used to join these tournaments for fun. Doesn't play the game much anymore, but he would always have to fight me first round. Like for 5 tournaments in a row, he fought me first round to the point where he wasn't having much fun with it. And I don't want to do that to anyone because you have to fight someone who is probably gonna beat you, and you're just like, man, shit, that sucks. But if you can do that and you sauce them up with some really nice combos. Your team is probably the most unique team, the most creative looking team, the most badass theme looking team, and you have really good synergy with that team. And I think, hey, I think you have the most creative team. You're not over here just using Cell and Ichigo on every fucking team like everyone else. Like, hey, I will give you those $20. But yeah, I might even take a vote on it. But however, this does also mean that you guys will have to go into your settings and switch it to where whether you stream on YouTube or Twitch, you have to leave that in the description of the what is it in the discussion section of the challenge app. And I want you guys to also go to your thing because the only way I can really check this is if I'm watching your fight, which I won't be able to watch everyone's fights. But I will be looking through some of them. So if you can enable your VODs for YouTube and Twitch, so when I go look through them, if I see, hey, this guy had the most creative team, I'll give him $20. Like I think he had the most creative team. There's only one winner. Whoever had the most creative team, like I said, another bonus prize for those people that might not be able to win, but can sauce someone up with something really cool. Maybe fuck them up with Austin, bro. You got it. So yeah, so there's that. Like you have to enable VOD so I can go back and look through them later on. Anyway, I guess this has been most of the video. I mean, there's not much I can't tell you besides post your PSN in the discussions and your Twitch or YouTube link on there. And like I said, 7 o'clock Eastern time, or like New York time. Some people want to call it dead ass time, as I call it. It's next Saturday because I think it's Saturday when I'm recording this. Yeah, it's Saturday today. No, it's Sunday. So yeah, next week. Hopefully see y'all there. I hope you guys are having a good night and a good day wherever you are. Let me know feedback, anything I may have missed. I can still edit the rules there. If I decide on anything that needs to change, I will change them in the challenge app, and I will let you guys know that hey, there's been a change. As far as that goes, just sign up. And I hope to see y'all there Saturday. All right, man. This has been No Good Suna. Catch y'all later. As a disclaimer, I do want to fight the last person, the person that does win the tournament in tournament rules, but we'll have to wait until after the tournament, of course. And I would like to do it on stream. So if it's possible, I would like to fight whoever the winner is. Uh, Also, I do have the caster and everyone, like, I should be ready, but for some reason I can't get them. I will probably get another caster, which might end up being Trino or D's, but there is someone I already have in mind. So just to let y'all know that. Anyway, this has been No Good Suda. I'm out. Good luck, y'all. Alright, hope to see y'all there.